With thrift store prices rising, it is so important that you know what to look for and what the thrift stores are going to be missing when they're pricing their items up. In this video, we're going to show you a category that not only thrift stores are missing, but resellers are missing too.
Can I just say I'm not missing it? I'm intentionally trying to avoid it.
And I think most people are.
So this is going to be a conversation about the ugliest sweaters, the ugliest items that we've ever sold.
Yeah, ugly sells, and we are going to prove it.
First up is going to be an honorable mention, and we were compiling this list, and what happened in our last video happened again, where we sold something that fits the category while we were doing the list. So uh, I just want to say that we need to think about our next video and what $1 million item we're going to talk about so that we can sell.
So, next video, like most profitable item ever, or
Vintage cars or like
$1 million
yeah.
homes, like whatever we got. So, let us know in the comments if you've got some like crazy thing that will help us sell an item because we're 2 for 2,
We
and
don't
I'm
actually
feeling
the drawback is that we don't have any of those items to sell. So we'll have to find them.
we'll have to find it, but I am here for it. We are 2 for 2.
Yeah.
So this honorable mention is an eagle eye sweater. It was like blue and red. It was chunky knit.
It's everything you think of with like the 80s to 90s sweater. It's that old style crazy print
Yeah,
type
no, it didn't
deal.
make our list of ugliest because we got some winners in here, but it is definitely an ugly sweater. It definitely fit the grandpa core vibe if you're looking for keywords there. I will definitely say too that because it is a button down sweater, for some reason those seem to like have a bigger draw.
Cardigans seem to, yeah.
It's the
It's the
cardigans.
cardigan look.
It's a Knives Out Chris Evans of the world that have made these cardigans come back in vogue. And
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, people are looking for them. This sold on Poshmark for $43. So it's not a low ticket item. So
Yeah. So first up on our list, we're gonna go
in
least ugly,
least
to
offensive to most offensive.
yes, least offensive, and this was kind of a Sophie's choice of ugly sweaters. Like when you get to the top end of it, they're all losers.
There
They're
was
all
a lot of debate of like, what do we mean by ugly while we were compiling this list. So if you guys disagree and you'd put it in a different order, I'd love to hear your order down below. And we're going to try and give you reasons why we think this sold. So you can do this while you're in the store to determine, is this ugly buy or is this ugly leave?
So the first is going to be number 10, ugliest sweater we've ever sold, is going to be a vintage anthro mohair monstrosity. It looks uncomfortable to wear, although there's nothing truly egregious about it. There's no like
Yes, there is. It's furry. Literally, there's hair sticking out everywhere.
other than the fur, other than the material, there's nothing egregious. There's no
other than the play.
yeah. Other than that, how was the play, Miss Lincoln?
Yeah. So
Fair. Okay, fair, justifiable, fair.
and honestly, this could have been higher up in our list if we still had the Anthropology mohair red skirt and we sold that as a set. That would have been, first of all, it would have been epic. But second of all, that I think that would have made it higher up our list because now you're talking fur head to toe. And they're both vintage Anthropology.
Yeah, the old tag anthro. This sold for $30. Not bad at all for anthro. Like that's a decent price.
It's a decent price. And if you're wondering why we think this sold, mohair is the reason it sold. We definitely look for mohair. There's a lot of different brands that have mohair. Anthropology is one of them. Moth specifically has mohair a lot, but definitely look at those material tags because mohair is selling, even though it is so itchy. Number 2, I think, is the highest price ugly.
Number 9.
Number 9, but number 2 that we're covering.
Least ugly.
Least ugly is, I think, the highest price item. And it's the one that we've referenced that inspired this video. But this is Brunello Cucinelli. It is, we called it a newspaper.
It looked like wet newspaper sewn back together somehow.
It was like open knit, button down, short sleeve thing.
And like
top.
a bay grayish. Like there's no good color to it. Like it's
neutral.
Yeah.
Now we say that it's number 9 and one of the least offensive because I feel like if you saw someone walking into a party wearing this, you wouldn't necessarily be like, oh my God, that's ugly. You'd be like, oh my God, they're rich. I don't necessarily think it screams.
It is ugly, but there's no glaring, like hugely wrong print. There's no eye-catchingly go, oh, that person has no taste.
No, you'd think,
vibe.
did they just step off the runway? It's
No,
that type of ugly. So the reason I think this one sold is, well, it's Brunello
the
Cucinelli.
brand.
So
It's a
if
brand.
you don't know Brunello Cucinelli, you can definitely see it on Rodeo Drive and other places that have like the super high end
Yeah,
designers. But it is a very high end designer. I find a lot of cashmere from them. We've sold pants by them. They have a
yeah,
very tiny little tag and it spells it out, so it's really easy to find. Made in Italy, which is another thing to look for is where they're made. Italy is a good indicator. That's probably high end designer. But yes, it does very, very well. And if you don't know about that brand, definitely write it down right now. You will want to pick it up every single time.
yeah. I mean, I remember this is the first ever piece that we found from this brand, and my first comment in the store was, "That's so hideous. It has to be a designer."
Yeah, I walked over and I was like, I did look this brand up, but I have to be wrong. There's no way it's worth this. And he was like, oh, no, no, no. It's that ugly. It's
Oh,
probably right.
super ugly.
Sorry, I'm looking up because crows have decided to descend upon us and they probably want to be fed. So the Brunello sold for $150. So again, this is a brand you want to be looking for. And I don't necessarily know that the item matters. We've sold
Oh
pants that
no,
are boring for as much as $70. And
$100 for pants too. Like
we
we,
have, yeah, we've
yeah.
sold. So Brunello Cucinelli, if you take nothing else from this video, it is you need to write that brand down. You need to memorize it. It needs to be something you pick up every single time you find it.
And it's just one of those nice designers that the stores don't know for the most part. They just don't recognize it. Next is going to be another Eagle Eye. Actually, it's the second time on the list. So this is going to be a 12 Days of Christmas sweater. And yes, I mean literally the 12 Days of Christmas.
It's
It
all
is
squares.
it's like a patchwork nightmare of one, two, three, four. Like
Yeah, and
it's a
on the back it says "and a partridge in a pear tree," like a big massive thing for
oh yeah.
that. It's amazing. I think it might be my first Eagle Eye sweater. I'm not sure. I have a few. So this is definitely a vintage brand that does I don't know if they do more than ugly sweaters. They probably do. I'm sure some vintage fan is going to tell me they do. But I've only ever found ugly sweaters from them and every time I do, I'm so excited. They're always epically awful. This one is low on our list because who hasn't looked for ugly sweaters for an ugly sweater Christmas party? Who hasn't done
Oh no,
that?
yeah. This will win you the competition.
Yeah,
It is that hideous. Sold for $55, so can't complain about the price on that. But it's you will win the ugly Christmas sweater. So if there's like a cash buy-in for the ugly Christmas sweater, it'll pay you back. Like it will win you that competition.
it will. So I will just note that if you are near the Christmas season when you're looking, I'm talking between October and December, pretty much any ugly Christmas sweater is probably worth picking up and brand really doesn't matter. Obviously vintage is going to do better because people like that and it's unique, but you can still even sell like Target, Walmart, whatever, ugly sweaters. Obviously price point will be lower, but they're still going to sell cuz people are looking for them. So make sure ugly Christmas sweater is in your description because people are looking for them. I list them all year round, but I definitely up my prices when I get closer to Christmas for those ugly sweaters.
Next is going to be another holiday item. This is one that
It was
was
recent.
very recent. My wife picked this up, and I just I resented every moment of having to pack it up because it sold for $50.
If you
It
saw our reel recently, you know this item.
it sold in like a few days, a
Yeah.
week maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Under 7 days.
it was a Mother's Day sweater of nightmares.
World's best mother.
I mean, I would not believe you if you gave that to me as a gift. I would think that you're implying that I'm the worst mother ever. Like that's how bad it was.
It was amazing. I was so excited to find this item.
Can I just say you keep using that word? I don't think it means what you think it means. It's not amazing.
It's So there's a few reasons this item sold. One, because Mother's Day is not too far away, and I absolutely use that keyword in my title because, like, let's face it, when you look at the sweater, you're like, this is going to sell for Mother's Day. It's either ironic or I
Yeah,
I
it's
I guess.
it's very ironic.
Yeah,
It's the Mother's Day gift for the mother that you have to be nice to.
yeah. So there's that. But then secondly, one of the materials was Rami. Now, the downside to Rami is it does tend to stain very easily. So you definitely have to be checking your items to make sure there's not a lot of stains, but it does come out pretty easily too. But that for some reason, I don't know if that's just because that's most commonly used in vintage items or what it is, but Rami for some reason
Yeah.
really sells well. And I know someone's going to say in the comments that I am pronouncing that wrong because I've never heard anyone else pronounce it. I know it's wrong, but it's Ramie if you are wondering.
The next one I'm actually going to argue should have been higher on this list
He
because
was really fighting for
it
this
was
one.
so ugly, and it's an entire brand dedicated to tacky, tasteless, awful sweaters. This is their identity as a brand, and it is Storybook knits. That's all they do.
Sorry,
That's
book, not Brooke.
yeah, Storybook knits, and it's all I've ever seen them do. It's just ugly sweaters.
Yes. Now, this particular one is a purple vacation sweater, I believe is the actual terminology for it. It had like sandals and like things you'd wear to the beach and just a lot of things. It's usually really like gaudy, tacky prints. I will say Storybook knits can go either way when it comes to price point. This particular one sold for $25. So I definitely would say if you're going to pick this up, keep the cost down. However, there are rare prints. So I would Google image any Storybook knits you find because there are some that are going for hundreds of dollars because they're rare and people collect them. So this is definitely one of those brands that every time I find it, I'm so excited because they're crazy.
It's almost like they take embroidered patches and glue them to the front like like a collage. It's so bad.
It's a lot. I would definitely say this is definitely for either the storybook collectors or collectors of the niche that they're catering to. So there's different niches out there. I know I have a New York sweater that's up. There's one that was like flowers everywhere. So I picture like a
Lo-
gardener picking that up.
Lobster, lighthouse, like it's
Yeah.
just
So this brand definitely caters to those niches of people that have like those specialized hobbies or people that collect storybooks. So definitely look it up. Definitely be aware of this brand. It's really a fun find.
no. Again, you keep using that word. I don't think it means they're not. She loves nothing more than to bring these
Oh,
sweaters home
it's my
and
favorite
just
type of thrift.
see the look of disappointment on my face when she shows me.
I do. The next one is one of my first ever vintage ugly sweaters, which was a Kittyhawk sweater. This actually sold, I believe, in a bundle with another Kittyhawk sweater, and this one has pom poms and like those
Just
little
random. It's like a black and white monochrome, and then just pom poms that are bright.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. So I really don't have a real reason why this one sold. It was really gaudy, so make sure that the word gaudy is used in your description because that's the only thing I can think of to describe it, and people are definitely looking for that. But this is just over the top, and this sold for $20.
Yeah, like you it's just it's I have no earthly idea. If this was Christmas themed, this would have beaten the other one for ugly Christmas. It's so bad. Next is going to be an item that I actually was in the store with you when you bought it,
Yeah, oh yeah, we have a
and
photo of that moment.
yeah, and I was trying to argue very, very earnestly not to bring this home, and I guess I should have known that it would sell. This is an urn sweater. Like literally, it looks like something you would wear to a funeral.
Now, you guys, back when we picked this up, did actually tell us what it was, and we've forgotten because we've determined that it is an urn sweater in our house. I forgot what you guys said it was. It might have been
It,
some ceramic pot or something like
it's
that.
no, it's grandpa. It's grandpa on the mantle. Is that's what it is. There's no other way to describe that.
Yeah. So this one was a vintage Jay McLaughlin sweater. Now, I don't think the brand sold this one. I think what sold it is keywords that we use, which were goth and things like that, to
No fielding.
yes, Noel Fielding, to upcharge the I guess morbid nature of this
Just
sweater.
increase the visibility with the appropriately inclined audience.
Yes, exactly. So, although it probably wasn't really an urn, it was very hard to look at it and not see that. So, we definitely capitalized on that in
Oh,
our keywords.
sold for $25.92 on eBay, and it didn't take very long to sell either.
No, it didn't.
And I mean,
And I feel like someone wore that to a funeral. As awful as that is, someone did it. And they are my hero.
that person, I want to hear that story because that's an excellent story. I have no earthly reason why anyone would buy that sweater. Like it's just
But you, maybe not earthly, but you have a spiritual reason.
great,
You're welcome.
great.
The next one on here is a fish blazer. Now, we found this at the bins. This was a bin strip. I might have been our first bin strip. I'm not sure. But where we weren't finding much, and then I saw this, and it is insane. There's so many colors involved. There's
Oh,
different things going on. It's button down, it's collared. Now, if I had listed
I
this today, I would have changed some
I
things.
think this might be the loudest thing that you've ever sold.
It
Like
is
the
so loud.
brightest. most offensively colored thing that you've ever sold?
And we were so excited when this sold because we wanted to know who bought this and why. Like, we
Yeah.
wanted to know the story.
This was back when I was doing handwritten cards, and I actually asked the person in the card, I said, "Please, for the love of God, put in the review why you needed this." And then they ghosted us.
Yeah,
They
they didn't tell
they did
us.
not give us an answer, and it's something that will haunt me till the end of days.
Yes, it was amazing. If I were to list it today, I would have added clowncore and kidcore into this because just look at it. Like, just look at it. It's that. So definitely those keywords would have helped this, but it sold for $35. So I gotta say that the reason this one sold wasn't my keywords because I wasn't very good at keywords at the time. It was the fact that it's so unique. They were not finding this anywhere
Oh
else.
no,
Like
it was a
this.
one of a kind. This is a one-off item that does not exist anywhere else, and the person saw it, needed it, had to buy it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this type of stuff is you are going to be one of one in a lot of these situations. Nobody else has this stuff. So you can set that price and you are the one that they're going to come to get the item that you're in. So it's a wonderful thing to have.
This next one I think is the most terrifying item, with maybe the exception of the doll that you picked up.
You
That
were like, "Get this out of my house right
the
now."
only answer that I have for why my wife bought this is that the sweater itself is cursed and put her into a voodoo trance and made her buy it from the thrift store. It has faces on the buttons.
Like actual faces. Like we're not just saying like it looks like faces. These are actual faces. I'm going to try. I think we have a photo of up close of the
Yeah.
button that we'll share with the photo of the sweater. It's so crazy. I remember picking this up and I don't know who I reached out to when I saw it, but I was like, this is so amazing. I'm terrified. I need this in my life. And the person I was talking to was like, yes, you do. You do. They were very encouraging, which was not good for me. But I think this sold because of the fact that it's so creepy. Like
It
it's
is
just amazingly creepy.
it's that item that you see in like the old horror stories or like the Goosebumps from back in the day where it's like there's something very wrong with the person that made this and then is going to buy it. And the reason you buy it is that you are tricked into it by the object itself. It has malicious intent.
So I guess what we're saying is this item sold because it cursed whoever looked at
Yeah.
it and said, "You will buy me or
Yeah,
else."
and you took $40 and you got it out of this house, thank God.
Yeah, I was thrilled. $40, absolutely. Like take everything I'm in and also get the curse out of my home. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I will say if you find something that absolutely scares the crap out of you in clothing, it's probably worth it. Somebody's probably looking for it, even if it's just to scare the crap out of somebody else in their home. Because who doesn't enjoy that? So
No.
much fun.
And the last item. This one I think was a runaway favorite for the ugliest item you've ever
Yeah,
sold.
now this item I didn't personally pick up. I'm just gonna say this because I don't even know if I would have picked it up.
No.
So we got this in like an inventory box for a while there. We were struggling to find inventory, so we were doing some different types of sourcing, and we got an inventory box from a company, and this was in there. Now this is Chico's, which is a brand we don't typically pick up, but I will say there are pieces that are worth it. I'm not a Chico's expert. There are plenty of them on YouTube. I'm not it. But there's things to look for. This, however, w- I I don't have. Do you have words?
Uh so it looks like somebody went to the set of Sesame Street and murdered several Muppets and stitched their bodies together like Buffalo Bill from the Silence of the Lambs. That's the that I don't have an answer. It looks like he used Elmo as thread and Cookie Monster and stitched Oscar the Grouch together in some macabre, horrifying trophy.
It's like a brown sweater with all these different colored ribbons like sticking out all over the place. It's horrendously ugly. But the thing that I think really sold this is the keyword trashcore. You don't know what trashcore is, it's exactly what you think it is. It's
Good
like
for you. You have a life.
it looks like items that you would pull out of the trash. So definitely go and look that up because it's something that you can use for these things that are just so insanely ugly that they look like they were pieced together. They look like they're just from the trash. That's just what they look like. So Trashcore I definitely think sold this item. It sold relatively quickly for 25 bucks on eBay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have no words for this item. It is horrible. It is awful. But the reason we're making this video for you is to let you know that these items all were priced pretty low at the thrift store. We're talking our average cost of goods on a ugly sweater is between $3 and $7. So not bad at all. And oftentimes they're selling for over $30. So we're getting a
Yeah.
pretty good profit margin. I think what it is the thrift stores see it and they're like, that is horrible. No one wants that. We're going to price that down to get it out of our store. And we're like, oh, but somebody does. Someone does. So definitely be keeping a lookout for those.
Look out for ugly. It is just it's the truest part of reselling is that the ugliest item is going to sell. And I mean, if you have experience, if you think you can beat our list, please comment what you sold that is uglier than these items
Oh
because
my God, that'd be
I don't
so
know
fun.
I don't know how that's possible. So if if you don't agree with our list, reorder our list, but if you have something that beats our list, please let us know. We would love to see all of the worst things that people buy.
Yeah, and if you have somebody like my husband who is at home and is saying like absolutely not, don't pick that up. That is awful. That is ugly. I want to hear about that too because I find so much joy in coming home and being like, "Oh, I found something that's going to make you so mad," especially when it sells. Love my life. Like that is the best joy ever and I want to share that with others. So let me know if you have that too. But that's our whole list. We do have a video coming up next week that is or that was requested by one of you guys in the comments. So if you have videos you want to request, definitely put that in the comments below too, because we are taking suggestions. We are still ramping up.
Shameless. We will absolutely do whatever you tell us to
Yeah.
do.
And
Yep.
we're still ramping up and we need those ideas. So definitely do that. But I think we probably have some ideas because we need to keep making these sales while we plan out videos.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to do a video about priceless antique
Yeah.
cars and
And $1 million homes and all of the things.
what is it, selling the Mona Lisa or selling a priceless piece of art. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So future video, solid. We've got it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for watching.